Folks, one of the most valuable things that this channel will do in the month of July occurs July 16th, 8 to 11 a.m. on Sunday. It is going to be a conversation where Dan Bird breaks down how he's been so right the last 18 months. He's going to break down also a risk calculator, which has been life-changing to my investing strategy. And he will give you an hour of time to look at your stocks, the charts, things of that nature. Folks, this event is $47. We have about 150 seats left. It is only a 200-person capacity. And let me just say this right now. Everyone needs to buy it. I know not everybody can make Sunday, but you're going to want this recording. Dan produces content, I've known him for 20 years, that you're going to want to look at. You're going to want to share it with your friends and family. You want to go back and watch it again. He's going to help you in so many ways. So Dan, tell us about the event, how you have it structured.
Well, there's the agenda. Can you see that?
I can.
Okay. So it's basically 3 parts. Section 1 is essentially an education of technical analysis. And I've got something actually pretty cool planned for that I've been playing around with. It's going to be very engaging, I think.
Okay.
So I'm going to touch on all of these topics, but when we get to B, price and volume, I'm going to actually show a chart with just price and volume. None of the other stuff that I usually have on my charts.
Okay.
And we'll talk about why that's important and why you can make profitable trades with just that.
Oh, wow.
And then I'm going to add to that chart support and resistance. But I'm going to step through. It's going to be a 1-year chart. I'm using Netflix as the example.
Okay.
It'll be a 1-year chart, and we're going to step through it as if it's in real time.
Oh.
In other words, I'm going to hide the whole right hand, because it's really easy to look at a chart and say, oh, I could have bought there. I could have bought there.
Right.
It's not as easy when you're actually in it day to day.
Exactly.
Right. So I'm going to start on the left-hand side and just start expanding it as we move day to day.
Okay.
And we'll start building support and resistance based on what the chart is showing us.
Okay.
All right. And then we'll add these other things as we go along, moving averages, indicators, etc. So these topics are going to be built out in real time.
Yeah, one of the things I want to say about technical analysis is there's a lot of people that think it's voodoo.
Yeah.
And it's all about fundamental analysis. And I get it, right? I'm an econ grad. That's where I live in the fundamental world. But let's not forget what Dan has done over the last 18 months because of technical analysis. He has been a lot more right than my fundamental analysis on the stock market. And we should put our feelings aside and $50, go listen, ask questions. Hey, if you still think it's voodoo after, so be it. But if he's been right this often, you should probably show the man some love and come check it out, I think.
And I'm going to address that in this very first topic, fundamentals versus technicals. And actually why using both of them is the best approach.
Yeah, and let's be very clear. I've only used one of them, fundamentals, forever, and I'm a horrible investor. Dan has used both, and he's doing a lot better than me, at least in this front of trading. So, yeah, I appreciate all of this.
Yeah, in my newsletter, let me show you the newsletter for those that don't have it yet. I actually put that slide in the newsletter, and I put the link to the session on the 16th, which is only 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, it is.
So I put the link in there, so those that get the newsletter will be able to join through that link. And if you don't have the newsletter, just send me an email to breakpointtrading@gmail.com, and I'll add you to it. I'll send you last week's, and then you'll get it each week after that.
Yeah, so I'll put the link below this video. But folks, again, it'll be I can say this with pretty certainty. That event on July 16th, 8 to 11 a.m. Pacific, will be the most valuable thing I'm a part of all month.
By the way,
simple.
Section 2, we're going to talk about different tools and platforms that I use, and that's where we'll talk about the risk management calculator, the risk calculator. I've created a video for that, but I'm going to step through it pretty quickly on how it works.
Okay.
It's pretty cool. And then I'll talk about stock charts and VectorVest and earnings beats, the three platforms that I typically use. And I'll provide what the pricing looks like for each of those if anybody wants to join. And then the last one is just going to be an open forum for everybody to ask questions or give me symbols, and I'll put a chart up and give my opinion on the chart.
Yep.
Show you how I would look at something, the different ways that I would look at it. So it's not just one chart; it's different. Several ways of looking at it. But that'll be an interactive conversation. Basically, the whole thing is interactive, really. But that last hour or so is just going to be open to any attendees. We'll just talk about what you guys want to talk about.
Yeah. So again, folks, trust me when I say you want to be at this event, but obviously it's 3 hours. Obviously it's on a Sunday. Obviously it's at a time where a lot of people go to church. I understand. If you can't make it, buy it anyway. You will want the video. You will want to consume this. You will want to rewatch it. You will want to share it with folks. I can't stress this enough. It will sell out. I'm going to push this hard until it's sold out because I do think it is that valuable. Dan, any closing thoughts?
I'll have a special announcement at the end of it. So something that I want to introduce to folks. So stay tuned for that. I've been, you and I can talk about it, but I've been toying with maybe doing it a little earlier in the session.
Okay.
If people don't stick around, but maybe even do it twice. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
One other thing that I wanted to show that's kind of in context with what you talked about. And that's talking about fundamentals versus technicals.
Sure.
So Tom Boley, which is a guy that I follow, if you go to stock charts, and you can do this without having a subscription to it, you can just go there, stockcharts.com, and click on articles. And he is the first article today. It's right at the top. He is doing a session that's free on the 6th. He's going to talk about his mid-year update.
Nice.
His mid-year forecast, July 6th at 7 p.m. Eastern time.
Okay.
And it's free. You can register there. Again, you can just go to stock charts, but talking about fundamentals versus technicals, these are all the things that he said he's heard the bears talk about for the last year or since the beginning of this year when this rally really got started. It's pretty funny. He just lists, he says, have you heard these things in the news media? Inflation is rampant, high interest. These are all fundamentals, by the way. Most of them are fundamentals.
Yes.
Higher interest rates will thwart the economy. The pace of rate hikes is too much. Daily charts that's technical.
I like the last one. We're in a bubble.
We're in a bubble, right? He said that's his favorite one.
Yeah. Because
that's the one that everyone goes to.
It's a go-to.
When they realize they've missed the rally.
Yeah.
And everyone then says that it must be a bubble and it's about to burst.
Yeah.
But they're just sorry because they didn't get in earlier.
Yeah, folks, I want to remind you, Dan Bird has a playlist on this channel. I think it's just Dan Stocks. Do yourself a favor, go back and watch what we talked about over the last 18 months. Realize how right he has been. Then register the event. Get ready to learn. Because the worst thing you're going to do is you're going to learn some stuff that will make you a better investor. That I can.
That's really what it's meant for, actually, is an education.
Yeah. So. All right, man. Well, very, very cool. Let's do our second session where we talk about the markets. But again, I can say with confidence, this July 16th, 8 to 11 a.m. Pacific will be the most valuable thing I do on my entire channel the month of July. Dan, thank you so much.
You bet.